Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about expressions, but before we do, we just want to remind you to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, Expressions is designed by Isaac Meyer, and it is published by Barn Made Games, which, by the way, I just love that name of the game company. It's Barn Made. You know exactly where it's made. In the barn. Okay, Expressions.
Expressions, this is a game where you're basically looking at each other intently in the face and then you're making expressions. So you're just like...
That is not the game we played.
What?
No.
That's how you play the game.
That's not how you play the game.
Oh,
Don't
it's
trust
not?
him. You played it.
Oh, that's right. I do. Okay, so this is instead. I got confused for a second. This is a game that is a cooperative card game where you are trying to guess what your other teammates have in their hand, but you don't just have to guess just willy nilly. You're going to provide some clues to them as well.
Yeah.
You're ultimately kind of using this theming of expressions, so we have basically the inside out characters as your kind of your suits as cards.
Yeah.
Have you seen Inside Out?
Of course, I've seen Inside Out. Everybody's seen Inside Out. I've not seen Inside Out 2 yet.
I think that's going to be hilarious because we have a daughter that's the same age as Riley in Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
I bet we're going to get a kick out of how all that plays out.
Maybe it will also give us some empathy as well.
I hope so. But ultimately, you have two decks of cards, or two discard piles, one of Harmony, one of Agony. You're trying to get more cards in Harmony before the end of the game, then in Agony, in order to win. I'll give you a quick overview of how to play. All right, here's our setup for Expressions. We set it for a two-player game. I've got a hand of cards. We'll say that's Bethany's hand of cards over there. In the middle here, we have our timer stack. We also have our discard piles over here of Harmony and of Agony. The goal of the game is to get more cards in Harmony by the end of the game than there is in Agony. And this timer stack is going to be what dictates the end of the game. So we might not even finish all the cards in our hand, but we do need to make sure that we put more cards over in Harmony than in Agony. So how are we going to do that? We've got a hand of cards here, and in that hand of cards, we have 5 suits. And then those 5 suits, all the cards are numbered 1 through 10. So we kind of know that going into the game, what our options are, what we might be trying to guess. Furthermore, we have a little player aid here that shows us what we're going to do on our turn. We're going to play a card or guess a card. When we're playing a card, you basically have these 4 ways of kind of showing what a clue might look like in your hand. If you take a card and you rotate it towards the middle so that this little green symbol is up top, that means that that is the highest card you have in that suit. Probably wouldn't happen with a 1, but the opposite would be true. You could put it this way, and you can say, this is the lowest card I have in that suit. If you rotate it towards that little X symbol facing towards the middle of the table, that means this is the last card I have of that color. So everyone kind of knows, okay, Ryan's out of yellow, or whatever the case is. And the last one is, I have more of this number in my hand. So I've got more 1s in my hand, which is true. I've got a green and I've got a red over here, so that might be a great first clue. Maybe I start with that. And then our opponent, Bethany, or not opponent, but our partner, Bethany, will look at their hand, and they would try to figure out if they have a blue, maybe a purple 1 in their hand, so they know, okay, Ryan must have a 1 in green or in red. So that's how you play a card as a clue. You take a card from your hand, you place it in front of you, rotate it so that the clue that you're trying to give to your teammates is going to be the most relevant and the most helpful possible. So all the cards that you give as clues, once they stop being relevant, are going to end up in Agony. If they're still out in front of you at the end of the game, they still go over into Agony. So make sure that you use a card that's going to be very smart in a way that's going to get the maximum amount of usage out of it, getting other cards over into Harmony. On Bethany's turn, now she has a chance to guess what's in our hand, or she can play a card herself. For the sake of this experiment, let's just say that she guesses, and she guesses that we have a red 1. Well, guess what? We do have a red 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to discard that to Harmony. Also, she's going to be able to take a card from her hand, put it over into Harmony as well. All right, so we've got 2 cards in Harmony. At the end of the round, what you're going to do is you're going to put cards over into Agony from the timer stack. When playing a 2-player game, you actually put 2 cards over there. But the good news is they are face up, so you kind of do get some additional information as well. We know now that neither one of us has the green 10 or the red 8 in our hand. On the back of our player aid is a little guide that shows you when you do guess a card, what happens if you're correct, what happens if you are incorrect. If you are incorrect when you do a guess, what's going to happen is, if there's multiple people playing, let's say you're playing a 5-player game, Bethany had guessed that I had a purple 1 in my hand. I didn't. someone else might have the purple one in their hand. What they would do is if they did, they'd have to discard it to agony. In addition, Bethany would have to get rid of a card from her hand, putting it to agony. So, guessing incorrectly can add 2 cards to agony, which can be really bad. But that's all there is to the game. We're trying to play cards in front of us to give clues. We're guessing what everybody else's clues might mean as far as what they have left in their hand. And if you have more cards in Harmony than in agony, you have won the game.
I really thought it was interesting how every clue you give is eventually going to go into agony. But also, you have to give clues. Like, you can't just, like, have, like, cards and people call things out and hope that you can guess what it has. You have to give clues so that your teammates know what you have in your deck. So you really have to think about the clues you're giving and to make sure that they influence, or not influence, but they relate to enough cards to make that worth it, to make the fact that that card is eventually going to go into agony. So I thought that was a really interesting design choice. I like that you have to give clues. You have to, or else you can't play. But also, the clues go to agony when you're done with them.
In the middle of the table, you have a kind of this timer deck. And basically, at the end of every round, one card or multiple cards, depending on if you're playing the 2-player mode or the hard mode or whatever the case is, multiple cards are going to go over into the agony section as a timer. So not only is the agony going to happen as a result of your clues and as a result of missed guesses, but also as a result of the timer happening, the game happening. So it's kind of a clever device in that way that because of the timer of the game, it acts as a timer, but also it gives you some pressure, something you're having to kind of go up against. So it really wants you to make some correct guesses often, so that way you can counterbalance that.
Yeah.
And furthermore, I like how, in order to make that happen, when you do get a correct guess, not only does the person that you were guessing against get to discard the card that you guessed, but also you, as the person guessing, gets to choose a card from your hand to get rid of it as well, put that into Harmony. That's really important because you can choose which card it is, and you can use that to your advantage. What's the hardest card in my hand to get to guess? And you can get rid of that one. So maybe you can kind of try to short suit yourself and have less suits in your hand. Or maybe there's a whole lot of cards, a whole lot of purples out there. You try to limit how many purples are visible. Whatever the case is, use that advantage, or use that clue to your advantage.
Yeah. I also liked how in the clues, when a clue was done, when it was no longer relevant, then it goes into agony. So that's just nice because you have all these clues on the board, and as soon as one has we've done all of it, we've guessed all the cards that are with the suit or what have you, then it's immediately gone. So it helps the players, it helps your coworkers, not coworkers. Maybe I should
get to work.
Maybe I should play with my coworkers. It helps your teammates figure out what's still relevant. So I really liked how the cards went away as well, to make it to where you're only focused on the clues that are actually relevant at that time in the game.
All right, so one thing I want to point out, and this has no bearing on the gameplay whatsoever. Everything we said is true. It's fun, all that stuff. But here's the box, right? Here's the box as is on the shelf, But then here's the box actually. Like, all of this is just fluff. So it's really weird to me that you have this larger box that's on the shelf, but then what's inside of it is just a smaller box that is actually what you're going to use.
Yeah.
And that's cool. You can use this to travel around with, whatever the case is, take it wherever you go, put it in your game bag, that kind of thing. But this is just a giant waste of cardboard and air. I hate buying air. Yeah, this is the real game. Don't be deceived by the box. This is the real game.
Yeah, this is the game. So overall, when we got this game, I was excited about it, and then when Ryan was trying to tell me about it with the theme, I was like, I don't know about this game anymore. But honestly, when we played, the theme just disappeared. We were just playing the game straight abstract, and it worked great. Like, we weren't saying, like, anger or joy. We were just saying red, green, like when we were calling out cards. So when we kind of took away the theme and we're just playing the game straight, I really liked it. It was a lot of fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I agree. I like deduction games. And this is a deduction game that requires you to take some leaps of faith, right?
Yes.
In order to keep pace with the timer, you've got to make some calls that are like, it could be a 2 or a 3 in their hand that they're trying to hit to me. We're running out of time. I'm just going to say 3. And that leads to some really fun moments of either celebration, like, yes, you got it, or, oh, man, I can't believe I missed it. Oh, I was off by 1. Oh, it's crazy. So it leads to some good moments in that regard. I like how the decision point of when it's your turn to give a clue, what clue you give, that it's a tough call because, it's not an exact thing. I mean, the information you're giving is true, but it's true for multiple cards a lot of times.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a great decision point. You have to keep giving clues, but you also have to keep guessing. So you can't just keep on giving clue after clue after clue after clue, and you also can't just keep on guessing after guessing after guessing, or else the whole game breaks down. So it's a tough balance, and it's a challenge I enjoyed.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.